Here we're going to do the second drive of SdrGlut, and so we'll just run through some of the basic functionality of the program. So we'll take the SDR play and give it a bandwidth of sample rate of 10 megahertz, 10 megasamples a second, and we'll start her up. And so here you can see that it shows a pretty wide band, and one of the first things you need to do is go to mode and set it to narrowband AM. And so now we're on narrowband AM, and you can see that it was tuned to WWV, which is what it was aligned to. Now we'll bounce around a little bit. You can see down here there's a bunch of stations down here, so I'll click down here, and then we can use the zoom window to pick out the particular window. So these are about 7.5 megahertz. And now we'll go down to around 6 megahertz, pick up a couple stations here. So we got a couple stations down there, and we can go up here at around 10 megahertz, well, 9 megahertz. There's a station, and we can zoom in on it. And then we can go up here at 12 megahertz and pick out a station. So there's a station. And so that's basically using the zoom window on it. Now there's a bunch of other things you can do. You can have the pop-up menu here. You can choose the colors that you want, and so if you don't like the color background, you can change it to well, that's not a very good one. Let's do hot metal. That's kind of catchy, but I typically just use PS. That seems to be reasonably good, and so that's the palette menu. And here on the mode menu, you got AM, narrowband AM, FM, narrowband FM, single sideband, upper sideband, and lower sideband. And so those are the options. And of course, if you want to listen to lower sideband, you go lower sideband. Here's the antenna selection. You've got, this is a SDR Play RSP2, so it's got 3 antenna inputs. You can set the bandwidth. Now, setting the bandwidth tends to be kind of, it automatically sets the bandwidth as you go set the sample rate, but you can set it if you want to. I mean, here if I set it to 2, it ends up with a very narrow band right in the middle, and everything else is useless. And so normally you just let it set itself, and it picks reasonable values for it. So that's the bandwidth. Well, the sample rate, of course, is typically, I find I like to zoom in to like 2 megahertz, 2 megasamples a second bandwidth. That way you can see things more clearly on the screen. Like here we've got 10 and it goes down to 9, and now you can see all of these easily to select them if you want to. So we can go out of mute by hitting the enter. And here some of the various stations. Every bump is a station. And so that was the sample rate. Recording, I already did the IQ recording. Basically, you can record this entire bandwidth to a file and play it back later. I can try starting an audio recording at the moment, so I can go. Let's unmute it, and we'll just pick up
5, 10, 15,
WWV as a kind.
standard time intervals, and other
Okay,
related
so
information.
start
Inquiries regarding
recording.
these transmissions may be directed to the National
Tell it where you want to
Institute
put
of Standards
it.
and Technology, radio station WWV, 2000 East County Road 58, Fort Collins,
So I'll put it up here on the desktop.
80524.
And so it says save audio recording, so it's just saving the audio. And so now we'll quit, or we'll mute it, and we'll stop the audio recording. Okay, audio recording, stop audio recording. And then what I normally do with this is I pick it up with Audacity. So you start up Audacity and you just do an import raw data, and go to the desktop, raw data, open. It's 16-bit unsigned, import, and then we can play it. And so that's how you record and play back sound. And that's it for today.